Good evening, lovely viewers. As truth be told, once again, coming to you live from the studios of Gold City. We are happy to have you once again, and I want you to call a brother or a sister. Tell them it's time to learn about the wisdom of life. So please pick your phone and share the link for a brother or a sister to also benefit from whatever we are going to discuss this evening. Therefore, Mr. Ose, Brena Ebe, na Obefe Unia, na Adamfo bi, na wahyɛ link na mana na ɔno nso so atumi adjoin yɛn. You streaming live ɛwɔ three different platforms so ɛnɛ. Ɛyɛ TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. And the name is Boakye-Fosuhene. Kofi Boakye-Fosuhene na betumi de adjoin yɛn ɛwɔ ɛnɛ discussion yi mu. Didi kan remember your coach. Baba coach, good evening. You're welcome. Hope all is well. I'm also very blessed. Therefore, I'm saying a branding tin on your back street. Nah, there was sharing link and I said the last week, kind of bam, but your main home presence. Register your presence by making us know you are joining us. You are with us throughout the program. In T, you been here discussing our view. You can break it on board. Say, yeah, you're now question is a bit me and also abba. And say, oh, different comment and a bibia will be a no bit media, but not you know as che adwin. Nyansa de bia coach kas eni bako for atrium. Inti mestre say, bibini na ye kas e discuss na waiting so do the aba na ya the aba. Then we share the knowledge and the wisdom that we all have in our heads. So that at least we can benefit from each other. Inti yɛbɛhwɛ or comment woba so anɔ me wo sɛ waba wakyea ɛne wo sɛ ɛne wo na wɔ ha within the time no na get bi na bɛte a you can post it bi na wo a wo so bɛtumi de aba post it ne wo sɛ ɛne wo ɛdi dwuma ɛhia yɛ pii ɛne pɛ feedback ɛho sɛdeɛ nneɛma mɛda wo ase coach wei deɛ quickly you give us a summary wonim no ano no back
Ah, and oh ye yabrabo. Nti yesua sɛ nkwa na yɛ no we need to value life. Nti ɛnsɛ sɛ onipa biara no woyɛ w'adwene sɛ contract ne anya no woyɛ w'adwene sɛ ɛsa ɛmpa. Now we ask ourselves last week, why are we saying that we should not need our contract? Yɛn a ɛyɛ me dɛ pa wɔ mu ni sɛ life if not dead. Sɛ nkwa a ɛkita wo no ɛyɛ ɛdeɛ na mmom ɛnyɛ emu bebree wɔ hɔ a we feel say it is a burden that we came into the world. It is a burden that our parents gave birth to us. Now so no question life is a special gift given to us by the one who brought us here, and we believe ɛno nti nyame ɛde menu mmienu yɛaba ha nkwa a ɛna yɛhu sɛ adeɛ na ɔde ama yɛ no value life as a gift, not bread. The ɛtɔ so mmienu so a na ɛyɛ me dɛ paa no sɛ challenges are part of the journey of life. Mu bebree wɔ hɔ a the reason why we want to terminate our contract with life is as a result of nanso yɛnte aseɛ sɛ challenge yi a yɛpɛ sɛ yɛdwa no fi challenges ni nyinaa ɛka abrabɔ ne ho wopa ɔfa benku wobɛhyia no ɔnifa wobɛhyia no ɔakyire wobɛhyia no ɔanimu wobɛhyia no any direction that you are going to walk, you are going to definitely meet challenges that we talk about. Yeah, what you say? At the end of the day, it's comfortable. Why and what you can, I had upon. I said, did you hope you say? Most people want to separate the result of pain, and we understand that pain does not end. When you are in pain, the yeah will say, so we want all of us to build life. Abrabona ye bono. We beka se enye better sa. Ese se wutumi e build capacity. Your weight lifters and conform pija na there. And before you become a weight lifter, no, look at the training they go through. The people call gym na equal lift here. I feel be no. Because of weight lifting, into no say I show anybody mu. You see say muscles in your manoma na a PAP. So exactly that is how life is. Into abrabona ye bono. Yenti as say we need to build capacity for it. So don't allow pain to let you terminate your contract with life, Debbie. Emma Quine, Emma Eyaw, Emma challenges in Kase. Because of that, you are giving up. Auntie Chris, I think, say, Mrenutino, with the BCA. Let me add this last one. And so name the power or say, never terminate your contract with life because you are needed. Edu baby a GD say, Ubi and fire home. Ubi asusu e hiame. But that is not anya hwe no your existence on earth no sebi kura awoso o man awoso no ye population census. You understand? We need you. We need you. Afa so no sebi say do baby utumi koto ade wo bi enti no you are somebody's customer, so the person needs you. So why do you want to terminate your contract with life? And until emma o situation, you see situation, if you are not very careful, if you don't learn how to handle situation, at a point situation is what would start directing your life. We shouldn't be. You must be in control of your own life. Until the echo should be build capacity. Now who say I will never terminate my contract with life. Okay, Chris.
Coach made us he said the coach ended, I need you, my listener. He said, me here on Mammy was a say hi, with me, be a summary of whatever we did last week. Said a baby wants a one year and then we have a powerful topic. Before the message I show on crying says share the link, me monitor, me feed, and my own say Nipa joining me, sir. Message on crying say young person share link no. The bear union beat me. I join in. Na unite me a chair. The wisdom I neighbor bet channel. Intimate on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. It didn't beat me. They join in. Kofi Boakye-Fosuhene. Kofi Boakye-Fosuhene. What the to pet beka hona yet me no. Edi juma na me see edi juma na wo comment bi a bra wo question bi a betim dey abane ehun say ye nyina ye sua bibi. It motivates us really well. It's the best show so be say my coach.
Yes sir.
And that topic in there ijawo. I say the top is not for top.
The top.
Yes, it's not for top. So no enye nkora asem kora enye enkodi agro.
Enkodi agro.
Coach. Let's just have my brief introduction into the topic.
Okay, thank you very much. TBT,
the truth, nothing but the truth.
So this evening we are also here once again to embrace the truth and to also gain wisdom for life. And let's send here Chris Ekaye now you who screen is so no. Or say the top is not for toddlers. The top is not for toddlers. So when we were kids, we used to build castles in the air. Sure. When I grow, I'll be like this. I'll be a pilot. I'll be an engineer. I'll be a doctor. Now, those professions that we were mentioning, as at the time I am Kwalano, we would describe it say at a top, it was sorrow. Now, anytime biya onipa benya aniswade hunu se opese okosoro no, there are things that we need to understand. One of them is that Chris, when we say mostly when we meet, we try to talk more about life.
Yeah.
Because that is what we find ourselves in. We are
Sure.
in life. Now, when you come to this life, life is a journey. And this journey of life is in stages, or somebody will say levels.
Life is a journey.
Life is a journey.
The journey is in
And the
levels
journey
or
is
stages.
yes.
Okay.
Enti yenti asye se enye se wo share abrabo ase anu waduru. Please let's understand that. Ye mu bebre ho a ye ma ye ho pressure dodo. Or akwala afe na wawie SHS. You want to become a billionaire. But your encosa, life is a journey, and that journey of life is in stages or levels. Enti no obi beka se tobo eye dan ya obeduru ho. But baby awo idie ebia na wunya nuru ho. Now I'll also add that life is like a school. So when you go school mu pe, what the wobako school, afe na start school ni pe ene just akwara ne ko crèche. Ye uni free crèche no ko mse nursery nyesa. Owie nursery 1, nursery 2, no ko KG1, KG2, ansa na wako class 1 or stage 1. Wodi na mu ansa. Enti say na abrabo no esifa etie. So let's accept it. We need to embrace this. In fact, understand it. Sene beya abrabo na wo bono enkoye dindindi bi ma, because I realize say mu bebere ho ayen na ama ye ho pressure. Because we have not understood this simple thing about life, that life is a journey, and this journey is made up of stages, or is of stages and levels. Now, have you realized, say, Chris say, when a child is born, the child will have to pass through certain stages or levels.
Yeah.
Now, a child will start, a baby, let me use that one. A baby will start to crawl. Now, when the baby start crawling, with time, this baby that was crawling, all crawling, or the 9 and into the 4 and an echo. Then with time, this child will begin to stand and begin to walk.
Yeah.
Enti afe bra all nanteno or the 9 mienu first no na nsaka ho say enka ho adentia, because life is in stages. Into watumi pass it through the crawling stage, awura walking stage. Afe ofri walking stage ho a na afe watumi awura the running stage. You can never ever, a baby can never ever crawl, and right from crawling the baby begins to run into me sada. Jese akwalano se owiawia jese wanante ansana watumi atumrika. So that is how life goes. That is why some of us sometimes we feel that life is too slow for me. It's about the stage, it's about the level. So whilst we understand this, it will help us a lot. Chris, I'm very sure that so be huma, somebody will wish, I wish I could speak fluently like Chris. But Masa, and you say near the woo. Yes, you see, with time or no, you learned. And so and obi who say you are at the topper. And yes, fitting now could do ho. But you went through what we call a process.
Sure.
And to offer processing, and the process in our formuno, and on our wires anyway. So when it comes to human life, one of the things that never try to dodge is the process. Most people, they try whatever they can do to dodge a process. Don't do that. Oh yes, sir, wow. You must go through whatever process that is there. And into Chris, yes, you say, and then yen to mean kosoro. Just say, a sorono, yetumia yenoma baku minubi, a sorono, and yen kwalasem, send a wow kind. The top is not for toddlers. You want to get to the top. But the way you are behaving, the way you have started life, the way you are acting, it will be very difficult to get there. Truth be told, let's tell ourselves the truth. Sometimes we want to hide behind certain things. Oh, say nyami ho ide me say. Obianka say nyami ni ho. Obianka say untimi say. But for you to get to the top, you cannot be a toddler. You have to grow in the face of life. So when to me anya sadia, ene na meka say ebe de papa.
Which I say, oh boy,
Ehu ya ba ne wa ho.
ehu
Ehu nim.
I can't get no fire. Because some of the young guys want to start life early at their age. Who have so only a Bugatti, any other cars near ma. Nah, you're dropping say a giant car. Their life no see in stages, but they be on a person skip. Is it possible to skip?
Skip no ho asem ne yekai. Ya was skip bu house skip and skip. Yes.
Yes, your best skip.
For instance, you can have an exam that you think or they have said that the exam is very difficult. You tell yourself that then the next 3 days I will not sleep. But please, you definitely sleep. You can't skip sleep. So in the same way, to get to the top, there are things you cannot skip. No matter who you are, you can't skip.
Okay.
An example is what I said. If you want to be able to communicate very well, you have to learn it.
Yeah.
To be able to speak fluently, you have to learn it.
That's
Things does not just happen. And no na ne ye nkwala no, ye mu bebre ho ye hu ya nkyere ye. So we stop to say everything can just happen like that. But now one of the things that Christmas Sunyapani say, nothing just happened. Nothing just happened. So what do you say? Mostly it doesn't work like that. And then bibi so and a BBS. Today I was telling somebody say, Abrabona ye bonum puno, yen who say, and Panyisi and Duaso and Ahoma who soro. And he said, Ahoma peso who sora, this or fed Duadam for more than half a fan who are son to me. That is why we are saying, say, if you want to get to the top, then you cannot be a toddler. Fine, Obo had a vision in life, to be the person is okay with whatever he or she is having now. The person is not thinking about going to the top. The person is not thinking about elevation, nothing. Or see the one yana and there's a problem. But so per se, okosoro they are, then near years there is the need to say, assessor to me, a year home a juma. The main fan so say, now I want to be successful in life. I want to be successful when it comes to my leadership. I want to be successful when it even comes to influence. Me person menya ni party menka me say so open dia, then it requires a process. And what are the processes? Number 1, growth. Adia when you woman obey mu akwala. If you don't grow in communication, then you become a toddler in communication. But the moment you grow in it, the moment you learn the skills of speaking, public speaking, one-on-one speaking, blah, 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 then you are growing in it. And definitely the success you want to see, you see it. Then number 2, you need discipline. You need discipline. So what per se, who success our life, you want to get to the top, then there is a need to be disciplined. You move Chris, you need discipline. Teacher for you need discipline. Asemono obeka so obey ni say onye ni sa. And you see, when you live your life like that, Bruni Beka said you have left your life ajar. Anything can just happen and blow you away. Be disciplined in life. Dear, you see, ye no men yet. Let me jokingly say this. Now, Obina Neka, the TMS I'll say, Ghana ha emra ba ko pe na ye adwuma. Emra ne say, Emma, Enko, Emema, so Emema, so that is the only thing. And sometimes we feel say, oh, freedom. I've also even learned that too much of freedom is not good.
Yeah.
Say they be a home to be say will be and so you don't report to anybody and you are happy. It will be difficult to get to the top because you have to go through the process of growth, the process of discipline, the process of maturity. Maturity is what will take you from being a toddler to a man that qualifies to be at the top. Anything Yesuya said, the top is not for toddlers. A slow na yepesi yekono, kesiye na yepesi yehunu, success na yepeno. Enya enkwala ena wonsaka. No, you must move from being a child, from childish activities and behavior, and become a man, a full-grown man. It's a process you have to go through. Now, Chris, Do you know, say, most of us near our perception be say, when ages, or let me say, when years are added to your age, it makes you matured. But it's not true.
Yeah, it's very true.
Maturity is not found in age. But based on what we are saying, have you gone through the process? There are certain processes you have to go through, and that is what we are learning. If you don't go through it, you can never attain maturity. Until to get to the top, you have to go through the process of maturity. Are you maturing at all? Would they compare the way away your name? Are you maturing? And those times they used to do their things haphazardly, this, that, but now you see them, they are very organized. You can testify that this person has matured. So we need to go through all these processes before we can see success, before we can get to the top. Intimo be nada. As I said, and that is why because we are waiting for something to happen. We want to get to the top, thinking that a force will come and carry us to the top. But Chris, enye juma sa. When we say, now no mama no papa teno. Muye, obe free be a school and now even who started juma kwa na nominate, but you are so near it. But on kwa tena you realize that it's not easy at all. What is happening? So we need to learn about this process so that we can get to the top.
What you say, there are three things that we need if you really want to hit the top, and that is first, you have to grow. That is growth, discipline, and maturity. Growth, discipline, and maturity. But coach, if you want to hit the top in life, you're making us know that with what you've said, it means that getting to the top, whether in career, leadership, or whatever, does not really it's not an accident. It's not an accident to be at the top or to hit the top. And it's also a playground. So what are the demands? What do we need? You've already told us that we should grow if we want to be at the top. These are the things that we should get or we should build ourselves with in order for us to hit the top. So when we get to the top, it's not an accident because some people just feel that the thing just came to meet me on the way. When I'm a manager, I better know or didn't. But you're making us know that, like you said, maturity is not, gotten in age, but through the activities that we are in, the things that we are learning, that will help you to mature. So there are times that someone with gray hair, but when the person speaks, so coach, help us with that. What are some of the demands? If it's not an accident to hit the top, what are some of the things that will require, aside maybe what you've spoken about being the growth, discipline, and maturity?
Daydreaming. You see, when you are a child, if you are a toddler, you engage in daydreaming.
Okay.
Because you think it must happen. But life doesn't go like that. It must happen. If you happen, it must happen. No. You need to work it out. Change that mentality of it must happen. What force, what is holding that thing to happen? Make it happen. It takes working out. When we give you a mathematical question, what do? You work it out to get the answer. So the answer is getting to the top. So if you want to get to the top, that is the answer you need. You need to work it out.
So it's work.
It's work. So we are saying, say, the top is not accidental. Mr. Yi free. Si sadden free what we mukura say. Oh, then obi madam for who debi. No. Now you ask of the demands.
Yeah.
You see, most of the times before ansana ube to me a I want to talk about three things.
Okay.
Number one, you need to be tested.
You need to be tested.
You need to be tested. Somebody once said, a public speaker, he said, never trust someone who has not been tested.
Never trust
someone who has not been tested. Now, when we talk about you being tested, what have you gone through in life? What has happened to you? And when you look at the society we find ourselves, people are quick to talk about things that they have not experienced. Look at the way sometimes we treat politicians or presidents with the member president. We need president that. Need president that. But sometimes we sit back and talk as if say, Sebio, president be one. Meanwhile, you have never experienced it before.
That's very true.
Yes. So we have to learn, say, to get to the top, you have to be tested. There are things you go through, you experience. Some may be sweet, some too may be very bitter. But what do you have to do? If you want to get to the top, then you have to allow that test to go on. Then, aside being tested, based on the things that you encounter, you have to be trained. And until I say a juma biya ye foul, when they offer you an appointment anywhere, a company, they said you are going for training because we must teach you how things work. The protocols you need to observe, the rules, the vision, the mission, how they do their things, you must be trained. Now the question is, I want to get to the top. How am I being trained? So most of us, we are doing everything possible to get to the top. But have you been tested? Have you been trained? And if you say, yes, I've been trained, who trained you?
It also matters.
Yes, because when you go for a workshop, say we'll go training, is there not a facilitator?
Yeah,
somebody is facilitating. Now watch it out. So in the same way, in this life, that is why you need a coach.
Coach KBF.
Yes, I am. That is why you need a coach. So in life, you need somebody to coach you. Now when you go to the Bible, there was a lady who rose. Her name was Hadassah, Esther. She was trained by the uncle by name Mordecai. So who is training you? Who is your coach? Who is trying to guide you in this life? Sometimes if you listen, that is why you are not at the top yet. That is why you are not there. See, some of the things, accept the fact that you have not gone through the right process. That is why you are still where you are. Sometimes we feel life is not fair. Life will be fair. But when you're watching yourself, be fast. So after being tested and after being trained, you must be refined. Say you're refining what? It means we are making you better. So right now, Chris, you are a consultant in your field of study. Even now, you can become better than you are now by being refined. You're refining or not? Ninuya akwete say training, no. But this time you already have the knowledge, so we are giving you what we call a top up. And normally, when you are refined, you are able to pick up things easily because you have the fundamental. So 3 things that is demanded from you if you want to get to the top. You must be tested. You must be trained, and then lastly, you must be refined, so that these 3 will make you qualified to get to the top.
Wow. You must be trained. You must be tested. Coach initially said that if you are not tested, you cannot be trusted. I think it's something that is very powerful. Very powerful. And we also learned lastly that you are supposed to also be refined in order to get to the top. Coach, Eric has a question here, and I want us to maybe look at this question. He initially said TBT, nothing but the truth. Then the question is, he says, life is in stages.
Yes.
He's quoting you. And he said, however, can one's background cause him or her to skip some of these stages in life? Okay.
He is perfectly right.
Okay.
Mostly I said I love our proverbs, especially the key proverbs. And when you say ya wo to isiswa and chena wa etintin. Ya wo to isiswa. So sometimes where you start from or where you started can either be an advantage to you or a disadvantage to you. Now, sometimes I comparison with me person, but I think I have to look at the way we write BEC. The same questions are prepared for children who are in Sunyane, Accra, Takrade, enjoying light and things. Now, this same BC exam C, nkwalaa bi so a ɔmo wɔ Sebio nkura ase light kura ni hɔ. They have to walk about 2-3 miles before they get to school. They have to cross rivers and things. Obo a free school ba oni light na nwumere no aka sɛ wosua de ayɛ homework. Meanwhile no, they all write the same BC, the same questions. And definitely no, they are no wo kuromo no sebe or light or access to certain things. Even now phone. Some of these children, they have access to phones. Our bafia to me check bibi ni manema near or sebi ekurase no. Ne papa kura ni Android phone na waka na ho network kura ewo he. Enti Eric, what you are saying, you are right. That is why we advise that when you become a parent, you need to build structures, foundations, so that some of these stages your children can skip them. Obi oha se obi kan story chirewa oya akwala no sometimes because of hardship nti osori no pa just wakoton ade na papa abafi ansa na watumi akosku anyesa enyi obi susu wo ho a ofri school ba pe just say okoton bibi. So you realize say sa nipa yi so no obi so okru kese mu ba bi a ofri school ba or rest be 30 minutes 1 hour classes teacher so ba fi san be kire na de. The same life, the same exams they are going to write. Now look at what will happen eventually. So you see, say mostly, no, these people, no, we see them at higher places at the top. Until Eric, they all kind of, until you being a parent now, make sure that you build foundations, structures, so that your children are going to enjoy life. Chris.
Good.
Why now do I say about you?
We never said a question. Now, the question now,
and I'm my answer.
Maybe I did. And then I say, I could see any mirror.
You and your pepe.
Which, in our quest to rise to the top, there are some who cannot withstand pressure.
Yes.
Are they meant for the top?
Mm-hmm. It will be very difficult for you if you are not ready to face certain things. Then don't make the attempt of getting to the top. Yes, because at the top there are a lot of pressure, as you said, at the top. At first, when I saw people in higher positions, I was only looking at that luxury part of their position. Hey, president, or kwa motoke dinanim onto fuel, onye say. But Chris, kakrano korano aye kwa ye duru sumpono. You realize that the top is not easy.
Yeah, it's true.
So you need to prepare yourself fully. Otherwise, when you get to the top, a lot can happen to you. Now, number one, you can crumble under pressure. Oboha pressure na ebani suntino. Adie oye bibi kura etimi say adie no. At the top, you will definitely encounter pressure. So learn how to withstand pressure. Inti taika say, made them in pressure, You have even disqualified yourself in advance. What I'm saying is, say, most people, pressure. Let me also add that. Do you know, say, some ladies are not married yet, all because of this. I don't want anybody to come and order me about me. I don't want any pressure. Then you can't get to the top, because at the top you encounter pressure, and if you are not able to train yourself, build that capacity, you are going to be crumbled by the pressure. Then let me also add that sometimes say opese wo kosro na wan prepare wo hunye na empo wo koduru ho a aside pressure be crash no, you can make careless choices. It is somebody calls it revenge for poverty. Se ekom di obi che. Se kom di obi che pa na opie aduane so buffet so a ogu nanim ase. Obehu say ne ho pre no ofa plate na wa sese aduane bebre. So the people around will be like, na akoya dey. Or revenge mission. Because a comma did not check. A hono, you wouldn't be able to think through, say, baby, I'm a one. I need to discipline myself. I need to do things so that I am not going to be disgraced. But what they come in a wash. So it is very important to always prepare yourself before you get to the top. That is why we are learning. So the reason why some of us, we are not at the top yet is that we are not ready enough to be there. Because when you prematurely get to the top, we are saying that you can make careless choices which will affect you. Then also, you are going to bring distraction upon yourself. And if you are a leader, leading people, you bring distraction on them. Because top wa. Remember that people are depending on you. So it's not only about you. It now becomes us. So immature, or let me say lack of preparation to get to the top, will let distraction come to you and the people you are leading. So we need to put ourselves into the process we are learning to be matured enough. As we learn to be tested, to be trained, we need to be refined so that when you get to the top, whatever comes your way, you'll be able to withstand, because as at that time, you have already built the capacity. Now, there is this truth that I want to mention. At the top, decisions that are made are heavier. I didn't say they are heavy, they are heavier. A Drew baby, one say, let me go back to President for you. News to be to me, but say. Then you'll be like, the president, on to me, can he say? On say. At the top, decisions that are made are heavier. What does this mean? It means that at the top, we make decisions. Until you be on to me make a decision. And Chris, you realize that in life there are some people, they find it difficult to make decisions for themselves. Obi oho asebe waware. O can be chance me go bisa mame. And you want to get to the top. You must have the ability to make decisions. So if now the petty things that are coming your way, you cannot make decisions on them, then I'm sorry to say that you can't get to the top. Because at the top, heavier decisions are made. Sometimes you have to make certain decisions to even risk your life. But are you ready to do that? You're ready. Now, at the top, the same top, responsibilities are greater. Obo ha ye man adwuma kakra bi so onya na obo ne hwene. Na me ma yesi ya na mabre. At the top there, hwe managerial position. Wo akira obeka say akono eno de no kore na emom eye adwuma. The responsibilities at the top are heavier. Sometimes these top managers, they go for meetings and they can sit for about 5 hours, 6 hours discussing something. Sometimes some of them will have to sit in their cars to travel for hours. Ubeka say nye juma, but wo faka na wotenaka mu be 2 hours pe na wo complaining. At the top, responsibilities are greater. Then the last but not the least, at the top, expectations are higher. Expectations are higher. Enipa nyina ni hwa wo. Ade da form anya obi na ehu. Nemom ade wo sora obi atumi hu bi. Once you are at the top, all eyes on you, and people begin to expect things from you. Jokingly, let me say this. It is a Ghana ha. Wakwa bruchire na oba Ghana. Expectations are high. Ukwa kwachia obi a. Wonene bonkomo ni nyina no. O twen say obi ka say ne kura ne say our expectation for you because you have been at the top into what bad they are. So you realize that some of these things mostly we don't think about them, but yet they are there and say we want to get to the top. But at the top, don't forget, decisions are heavier. At the top, responsibilities are greater, and at the top, expectations are higher.
All right, Coach. May I say? So from episode, so because I share link and I'm on be I be joining on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. And dia would bet me joining Boakye-Fosuhene. Boakye-Fosuhene. No be kind who I share wisdom and I share. And the topic is the top is not for toddlers. The top is not for toddlers. Inti no in charge. Me say yeah, cause now question be a bit me at the aba as well as what comment and our view be a bit me the aba. Coach,
Yes, sir.
Yenia Father Dominic Morrissey Ongo say you need to be trained to be at the top. No, but that question be sure her. I say, Coach, who can say or see a training?
Okay.
No, say how long must one be trained?
Okay.
How long?
All right.
Is there a particular time frame or fixed time frame for someone to be trained?
Okay. So, Father Dominic, it depends on what you are being trained in. Now, it's like the university. If you enroll in maybe the program I did, any of the engineering programs, by 4 years, you are out. But if you want to be enrolled in medical school, it takes 6 years. Law, after even the 4 years, 2 years, mokola, then even doctor of pharmacy now, and also 6 years.
Yeah.
So it depends on what you are being trained in. Now, the training that we are talking about, at a point, one kasano, ubehu say, ebia, have been trained enough. On say medical doctors, students, omo wie bibia wie amko rotation in omanema afei obe wie bibia no yetimi ja ne se kona kwaye adwuma. It means that time no wa understudy obi ene no kura no say ye ka say you post you ko ba bi se kwaye adwuma, you go and understudy a senior man. But with time no also be senior because obi so be ba be shawase. Omumpo no omu nsua nwie because somebody that has become a senior medical officer no there was specialists so when the specialists come, that person must also learn something.
Yeah, that's true.
So Dominic, it depends on which area. In Tienfa say wo pese we law a no ye wo ne nhyehyɛ wɔ hɔ ne time frame wɔ hɔ. Intimi nka say by 2 years now whatever training no what for we there be. It's like training for this life. It continues till the day you die. It's like marriage. Obi ani ho a aware si onim bibia wie. Okwa wanim no, some of the things once you encounter an experience na wusua. Bebre wo ho a na yadwen ye se ente saa, but after some years you realize hey say awade ni say neti o. Enti Dominic, you need fixed period be, but it depends on what you are doing.
Coach Anson, I made them next question. Bebano, Mestre say, Ope say, who keep the program running na Babeso Yasne na obet me ascend the Momo, and now bet me a contact a number ya maybe boy 0244616963 024469616963 na o send the more because my program let me running and I'm sure say over now advertise also we'll talk about whatever you do so that at least the world can also hear about you as we sell ourselves. We are also indirectly selling you, so you grow together with us as we grow. Measure say for some person program me people say they be Tuesday be na but na and also advertise whatever you do for you. Coach.
Yes, sir.
You're fruit top.
Okay.
Nah, I'm a home. Near
What's the meaning of a fruit top?
Say, I'm my appetite na.
Okay.
Ain't no answer any bedroom no church any maybe a in here or say yeah because the chin stay heavy pressure or You might be heavy, waiting, a boom be na say, yeah, in the quest, you also be able to maybe build ourselves with some of these things, you know. Na, I mean, I want to say here maturity.
Yeah.
So. If you're able to, with a little bit, sometimes we'll be high. Maturity in the back of credit, then we want to take overweight and I say, wait to be a boy. So, does it have any tool?
Okay.
Because sometimes the though we are children, let me say, in life as to what we are discussing,
Okay.
but on the ladder whilst climbing, are there times that we or are there levels be a level way, because there be a bit issue be na asan the number from craft a man area na near my way. What's advice for such people?
All right. I'm happy you said that. You mentioned maturity.
Yeah.
So at the top, once you want to get to the top, please, you must have maturity and avoid excuses.
You must have maturity.
Yes, the top requires maturity, not excuses.
Okay.
Now the topic is that the top is not for toddlers. Toddlers make excuses when things don't go their way. Akwala wo hoi se bibi esi na ansi se ne open pe. Why didn't you do this? It's because of the excuses. But at the top, excuses are not entertained, but rather maturity. Be matured enough that whatever comes, you take responsibility of it. At the top, it's about maturity and nothing else. Now, yesuya say yakasi obi enyiya enye age asem ne yeka, but adia owomu no enu nti na adwuma bi wo ha obi wo ye young but yetumi ka say Chris onima adwuma kura sen so a ebi ono kura ye panyin no. So it means that adwuma the person has become matured. So let's try as much as possible say when you want to get to the top. In fact, top can you at the top there, we deal with maturity, not excuses. The truth is that even excuses, so you'll be a time making excuses, it destroys your credibility. Say what catch will be saying, in a week's time, this thing you have given me, come for the response. And I say, be the human be bro, so by 1 week, the person comes and you are making an excuse. Oh, wait a minute, sorry. Me can say 1 week time beje, but man to me kwa ye bi me buy an inso toy. Na inso ne toy no e bi ba madam internet. You say you are making excuses. You don't qualify to be at the top. Matured people try to avoid excuses. So when you do that, it destroys your credibility. One, and to say, says how didn't see obo ha on fan the juma mere will. So those who are into those that we call craftsmen are they baby or what nankophobia no do madwuma bre omo yes so bon fa mere mu bio because of excuses. So at the top, you must avoid excuses, embrace maturity. Into maturity, you anything that you are giving, you make sure to say obey it. Whether you are tired or whatever, and take responsibility. And then say oye bibi so na empo anko ya, take responsibility of it. Whatever the outcome may be, stop pushing blame. Oh, crazy and then program crazy. I need to take responsibility of my outcome. Whatever question I am answering, say chinebi ye frame say me meyi man, I need to take responsibility of whatever I have said. So at the top, no excuses. You must embrace maturity. Otherwise, you cannot go there. So the lesson here is that growth means shifting from blame to accountability. Shift from blame to accountability. Jai say, Wentina, obi say, me ma mintina manye ye, Wentina, stop those things. at the top there, you cannot be blaming people. You must be accountable. Into whom say, you know, I need to take responsibility and then give account of it. Such that if you are to give account, you will not be ashamed.
Okay. So coach says that the first thing we are supposed to know is that at the top we require maturity.
Yes.
Not excuses. In maturity, does that mean that we also need to be strong? Do we need strength to be at the top?
I would say that we don't need strength. We need more strength. You see, at the top, strength is required.
Strength is required.
Yes. You can't be fragile. At the top, then you can't survive there. You need to be strong. In fact, stronger.
Okay, at the top.
Yes. That is why we are saying you need to be strong. Because if you are not strong at the top, you will always be crying. Do you know that there are some people who have got to the top, they wish to come down?
Yeah.
Yes. You need to build capacity, be strong. Because top hono, the entire kasa say we are strong and say top hono. Obi beka say honye easy. You mentioned pressure.
Yeah.
You see, it is toddlers who cry at every discomfort. Akwalasa, ade kakra bi ne ho kire kakra bi pe no osu. Yet I can say be say be mansu.
Be mansu ade.
Aha. Enti uba hu say obi oha bibi kakra bi na akrashe no. Please, then you can get to the top. At the top, build strength. Ma honye din obibi emu. Edru ba bia, people are trying to even discourage you, but you need to be strong. Edru ba bia, situations are working against you, but you need to be strong. Debi ameka say, ye nuanom ne ye papa no mo a, omo ye politics. Aja enye yinso ebe fa ne sa. Sometimes we have to draw lessons from them. Look at the way omo pe power. Look at the way they behave. Some people can enter villages, go and sleep at places.
Pound
fufu, buy corn, fetch water, and things. Obi be got to dame, I got to cars. So what I say, all because of what the person wants to achieve. You need to be strong. Aside even what I've mentioned, no, you have to also stay healthy. Strengthen your cano. Sabi apomudin so kahu because send America and say if you are at the top and you have to go for a meeting continuous 3 hours non-stop, usu you be a kakra na wabere, then it will be very difficult for you. You need to be strong. Pressure ne there, press men can nada. Me say ewo ho. Kakra yi kura no enye easy. You must not be afraid of storms.
You must not be afraid of storms.
Yes, at the top there are storms. Edu baby a bibi betumi bukama fa also, but you need to stay strong. At the top there are criticism. Edu baby a near wonye ye no yesi waye. Edu baby susu a de waka no enye sa na wo na wo pa akire o. Na so beka say sa na wo pa akire. Ebedu baby no enipa bekeka ho nsem bebre. People will criticize you. Whatever you do, they will criticize. It's normal at the top. Enunti na aya politicians no mabu omani agu enoma bi su no. One time president bi say wadani dwanfu on de utwa no kura. Aha. A strength at the top because you can't be weak at the top. You can't be fragile at the top. So what we are saying is that let us build emotional capacity. We need to build mental capacity. We need to even build spiritual resilience. So it is very important to be strong. Please build capacity for strength. Jai say, Bibi kakrebi no bi kan bibi pe usi. This person has said this thing that I'm doing, they are talking about me a lot because I do this. At the top, you have to be strong. In fact, you need more strength. You can't be fragile at the top.
Coach me that say, for me say mesra so because I share link and now near be sweating me. I be join here. Boakye-Fosuhene, Boakye-Fosuhene on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Coach, Nana Adjoa Kakari, Ebisa Asembisa Biwaha, or say true be told, no, what I'll say, or that was for any topic, no. And the question is, how do you build strength and tolerance for pressure at the top? Question I say, how do you build strength and tolerance for pressure?
For pressure
at the top.
Okay. Now, when you are embarking on a journey, now say you catch yourself quite a rough road. First of all, what you know? Yes, psychological and what you say, whether rough road or not, I'm embarking on this journey. Anything I can't say. We mention mental capacity. Nipa, no more be below. I say, I dream ever. Unim said this mind gives us strength. Yes, anything a nipa na dream a very active. No, the person is also active. Most of the things that we do, no, it comes from the mind. Inti nanadwe, she say a dream, no. Sometimes you can even train your mind to the extent say the mind will not accept I'm weak, I can't make it, I can't do it. You must build the mind like that. We mention emotions. Who you be, you easily cry, but because you want to get to the top, then you tell yourself, I'll not cry again. At first, I would have cried, but now I'll not cry because I'm getting to the top. So these are personal decisions that you have to take. And then you have to act it. It is also a person control anger. Also person control anger. Na obi abeka some say wa kwabo nani so. Na just say control na to me anya control papa.
Man, so I know answer. That's my next yana kambeba so. Patience.
Yeah.
They really need patience at the top because there are times that you say, oh yeah, better, so people will take your leniency to be your weakness.
Okay.
So as leaders, or if you want to get to the top, you really need patience because there are times that mana more leader or more debana you are not about it.
Okay. Patience is key. Okay. I will even add endurance. Patience and endurance.
Okay.
Now we are comparing toddlers who wants to get to it. Toddlers are people that want everything instantly. Akwala peduane a na be say, mommy, I'll eat fried rice. Fried rice in here ready, man. But at the top there, you realize that it takes patience, endurance to even prepare. Bibi or a bit take time and son at the chrono to me. I send me open. It's like success. Sometimes success required delayed gratification. Adi wenka ubenya ni say yanka ope. Now so unya ni sa in the quest of becoming successful. So you realize that essential we obi a we wa botre na wo atwen sabi ukodua abura enye so udua aburo no ne ochena wobekọ no aburo no akwala adwen be ne say udua ya ese chena wobetumi akotwa bi awe but who nim say just after 3 months and san aburo no wotumi atwa bi awe. So let us learn ne eka nyina no say let us learn to wait. Sometimes at the top, sometimes you have to wait. You have to wait. And in waiting, sometimes you have to wait for years. It is be our starting company. Who started company 1 year, 2 years? We say, I'm not seeing progress. She Obi started 10 years in it. Be there 15 years. Look at the banks in existence. So what do you have to do? Fidelity mo yache. So you too build that capacity. So learn to wait, learn to endure, and learn to trust the process. A process near from sometimes when you are going through the process, some might call it a delay. But you wouldn't call it a delay, but patience and endurance. just have faith in you. Say me train ade no ebeba. Odu sika koto okoto treasury bills. Say your mouth period be. Go cry to me chere say sika na they akoto treasury bills. Just say after 6 months, after this, and send away to me a withdrawal. But that time, no, a year patience and endurance. So at the top, and you better, but once you want it, it has to be like that. You must be disciplined. You can't be careless. You can't do things anyhow. You must live an orderly life at the top. Enuntina sebi you eba ahini kura. Say you be kase wo be hene no. They check a lot of things. Obi asebi o life ye basa. We ye nyoma just to me jina baby aye e kan e open nyoma no. There's no way they are going to install you as a king or a chief somewhere. No. So in the same way, because we also want to become leaders, we want to be able to achieve a lot of things, we need to discipline even our choices when it comes to habit. You need to be disciplined in making a decision, a choice regarding your habits. Then your time. Obi oha nemre no. Afe na mahu say, Chris, se wo bibia emre no enson. Se wo ni bibia, wo na time is so na de enkokra o. You don't have anything doing. When you are writing exams, the paper number 2 and you say you have 3 hours. Fane say, oti baby wonya hwe 3 hours. Time ne wa. But when you are writing exams, I feel better 1 hour more to go. So, hey, just now 2 hours is gone. Yes, because who bibiye. Enuntino pe bibiye. You cannot live a careless life at the top. You can't be careless. You must rather be disciplined because the top requires discipline. Enuntino we are not at the top yet because we are living careless lives. On faho the time sika. We are not disciplined enough when it comes to money. Sika be shen ho acha 3 days na washiska no. You can't be at the top. Now we top na you discover say fa ye bibia say na obekwa kodi ama wanya asem. Yes. It is said I will still go back to some of our politicians. Wait to me discover say you find a project be. Common fan ewo baby or one na wa mercy scan. Such a person, you can't be at the top. Na china bi no, o say wo pese maybe we MPO and I say MC you say DC. Na china bi no, do you think say we to me a climb higher so be a president? Obi be ba be ko to emre bi amount this amount say by one year. So don't be careless, but be disciplined because at the top we need disciplined people. We don't need careless people.
At the top we need disciplined people, but not careless people. So coach, we need endurance, we need patience, we need to be matured, we need to also be disciplined.
Yeah.
So with all these things, I don't know, that means it requires some level of wisdom to be at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Is it true?
Very true. The higher you go, the more wisdom you need to sustain that influence. The higher you go, the more wisdom you need to sustain that influence you have. Now, when there is a position somewhere, the position requires only one person. That vacancy requires only one person to fill it. Until what? You are pointing our failing, you have climbed higher. Now, for you to maintain that position, that influence, you need more wisdom. Sebi, at the top, you cannot be foolish. You must be knowledgeable. So you vision or mission. So yours must go higher than theirs. Because assembly aba manager and patron so na baby sound. They will come to you. Enti say ya dey say sebio unyansa ana unim de was ade no e wo form a de bia no it will be even difficult to lead a team. Say panyin ya baby say wasem simple yi na want to me answer na one of your subordinates mumu na ebe answer. It doesn't make sense. So as you rightly said, you require more wisdom. You cannot be ignorant. You can't be ignorant. Nti yenya obu ha say minim ubisa bibia minim a static rate disqualify to get to the top.
Public accounts here in Imo.
Okay.
Tamale for Director of Health and I'm paying for Tamale Teaching Hospital. Is there or I'm validate will be for 26 months. Man, I want this guy. Number who was answering a year one could be almost a year ago. And I was say, you know, once I'm validating for 26 months now. How? I've been 42. And I think they piloted a free dialysis program the whole last year, early last year. No time sir. Piloting time. The hand time banner a director to her name paying for to be into me and I say, are you guys as a almost away, as a leaders my better and I'm information.
So you can't be ignorant at the top. You must know little of everything. In fact, every true leader, you must know little of everything. Now, saying you're president, I'm so committee be UN.
Yeah, UN.
Akoka asivia mazise say boy and sem pra man. And then I'm metie and share analogy of man references equal to the poem of some Africans and Krophobia. And they were also one time their parents were even like immigrants. They have made it. Now they are serving in various higher capacities, benefiting their country. And who say he spoke knowledgeably. Not just as someone can or him the so at the top, you have to be knowledgeable. You must have wisdom. And untina sabi yemfa kwasia any idea. If you are a foolish person, you can't rule. That is why even in Ghanaian politics, there are some people we don't take them serious. Every time they come, they want to be president. Nobody will mind them. Because at the top, you have to be knowledgeable. The baby say be they say to me baby. And until a president Kurano or ministers at various sectors or comma speech be and our address be or information and yes, a honor president, there be a question say, please let me call my minister for energy to come. You should be able. But most of us want to get to the top. We say we don't know anything. We don't read. We don't listen to the news. Nothing. Ubisan bibia unim. Ubiso what's the meaning of PAC? So what I say. And it doesn't make sense. A juma be a way, especially a juma way, a says a hunim dear. You must know, if not all, majority of it.
I say per se I hated the top, but as a what it takes, most of us don't want to.
And no any
answer. OBI the top, but the requirements, today discuss it. Most people want to skip it.
Yeah.
But they want to enjoy the dividends of.
And also any juma. Now maybe say one who say fele visa form. Your requirement. Would they check any visa form be the requirement? It's no be so any day. The country crowd will call better or more requirement. We as if a wibra, but there are things that they will not request. And in the same way, also based on a juma way, so be a juma be a security related worker. Our knowledge is so security tips, this, that. Will be so into banking. This will be a economist or also so you realize say based on where you are, you need knowledge, more wisdom to remain at the top.
That's it. The president idea. And I say how much amount Nigeria first started the president of ministers at them. Was the president to and Ghana for president Akoni Ebwense. Oh good. Looking at I think how far we've come, realize sometimes it says we have to sometimes be selfish. It is even strikers as a striker, as a star, to be at the top, so they need to be selfish. Does it come into being at the top? Because sometimes So striker they be a pass or my pass. Sometimes beat me as that pass, but at times you need to be selfish to be able to score and to hit the top.
Now, anybody who thinks like that does not think of teamwork.
Okay.
You must think of teamwork. When it comes to teamwork, you shouldn't bring in selfishness when it's about a team. When it's about you alone, sole proprietorship, then fine. But when it's about a team, then you need to consider others. And the truth is that true leadership, greatness, is about serving others. Your service to others is what is very important. So if you are not ready to serve, and until they do baby, na ama ye question some of our leaders, because before answer no benya power no, they came, pretended, and posed as they have come to serve us. But once we vote for them and they get the power, instead of them serving us, now we begin to serve them. You understand?
Yeah.
So when you talk about the top requires service. Be ready to work for the company, work for the society, work for others. Enya wo nko a wo ho sika ba ma ebi musu enjoy bi adwuma bi wo ha ko mu asabio enye anika panyin no ade bi obeba bia ebeba bia ono nko a ono nko atena so adwuma bi wo abekọ no na ebia yɛmfa sɛ car panyin bu betima yusu o cars be 5 na ebia wo senior officer bi ba kokora woni. And are you happy about that? Yes. Obi o so kora no a ni tim odin ya say ono betima akọ the same meeting but oba won foro ne car.
Cars near to it me be kofa na ma na wo no so fa kofa meet.
So is that how it's supposed to be? You are being selfish and being at the top. It is a nipa na me fan say we manager, director. Wo de ma top 4 no headquarters for mon fa chiremra. So mo be ye o prepare question about you. Now on crofo no answer. Obetin sema ombeka. So we are always looking at teamwork. So when it's teamwork, it's about service. Do your part, let me do my part, and let's achieve more. That is all. It's not about being selfish. It is a football. You see, say yema obi credentials. You to make us say was score ABR 100 goals and I want my assist meba.
Yeah.
Wama assistant. Nature say obi onya ball no baby nan kono so betima try ma wan try no pass ye. No npa kono share. So you need to give assist because edu baby based on position na wugina no o hit ball na entumi nhye na emom o pass ma obi a ogina nchen wo baby a onu momu gi a obetumi ahye aden na me pass man because the person is part of my team. Players no kan ye ho enti na me pass man no. But most of us yem pass ball in life, in our team yem pass. Everything is centered around us. Na hu say position na wo mu sesia na wama bibia ye centered around you no. Say no obi na edi na obae. Christian yes one day
so
obeko ama obi so aba na ya no empanyin se emere ye ninka so wo de say president em say e di ni si so nje wo do bon se kikirikiki obehu ana ye beto aba organa bi obehu ana ye beto aba. That is how life is. So we are encouraging ourselves, say let's stop being selfish. Because we are thinking of team. Team is our service. Do your part, let me do my part. Let's achieve more, as you say.
Okay, good. My last but one question is if a leader, I'm disciplined, I'm working on my maturity, I'm doing all this, I'm serving, like we've discussed. When I get disrupted, it can affect my work at the top. When I get distractions, things because one may many can it affect me being at the top?
Anyone who knows or have studied about leadership, one key thing about leadership is focus. Yes, you at the top, you must stay focused.